Welcome to Soul and Love Stories. Today we're diving into the heartwarming tale of pancakes and promises at Woodland's Sunny Side Up. Let's honor Colonel John Dawson, Callie's dad, whose courage sparked this story. Drop a U.S. Army in the comments to salute America's brave soldiers. Hit like if you love stories full of hope, and subscribe to catch every Soul and Love Stories episode. Meet Callie Dawson, a waitress with a golden heart, Eli Thompson, a quiet boy with a big book, and Nate Thompson, a soldier finding home through pancakes. Get ready for a journey where small acts of love create something magical. In Woodland, Colorado, on an autumn morning, golden leaves drifted onto narrow streets, painting the town with gentle strokes. The diner's Sunny Side Up sat at the corner of the square, its air rich with the scent of pancakes and coffee, the heartbeat of a community where everyone knew each other's names. Callie Dawson, 34, stood behind the counter, her green apron streaked with syrup, brown hair tied messily with a scrunchie. She was the daughter of Colonel John Dawson, a retired soldier now living quietly with his vegetable garden and war history books out back. Callie once dreamed of being an artist, but after her mother died of cancer, she shelved that dream to care for her father's heart condition. Working long shifts at the diner to cover hospital bills, she sang off-key to Harvest Moon while pouring coffee, muttering, "Sing bad, but if the customers laugh, I win, right, Mom?" The diner was comfortably busy this morning, sunlight streaming through windows, glinting off military keepsakes on the wall, a medal, a photo of a young Colonel Dawson with his squad, and a plaque engraved with "Courage is quiet." Callie wiped tables, teasing a regular. "Joe, another pancake, or should I eat it to save you the trouble?" Joe roared, "You eat all that, this place goes bankrupt." She winked, heading back to the counter, but her eyes lingered on a corner table, where a boy about 10 sat silently, same as every day. The boy Eli Thompson came to the diner each morning, wearing a worn jacket, clutching a thick military book, Operation Desert Storm. He never ordered, just asked for water, reading with deep brown eyes that seemed to hold a whole world. Callie noticed his hunger, the way he glanced at a nearby plate of pancakes, then looked down to hide it, but he was too proud to say anything. She remembered her father's words. On the battlefield, sometimes pride is all that keeps you upright. Callie didn't pry, just kept working. One morning when the kitchen accidentally made an extra plate of pancakes, Callie brought it to Eli's table, setting it down with a sly grin. "Kitchen messed up, kid. Eat this so I don't get chewed out. No charge." Eli looked up, hesitant, his eyes wary like it might be a trick. Callie shrugged, acting busy. "Hurry up, it'll get cold and I'm not eating it." He picked up the fork, taking small bites, and for the first time gave her a slight nod. Enough to make Callie smile all day. She whispered to herself, "All right, kid. You win this one." It became a routine. Each morning, Callie messed up with pancakes, milk, or homemade cookies, always with a quip. "Kitchen's brain dead today, kid. Save me." Eli stayed quiet, but he sat taller, stole longer glances at her, and once left a scrap of paper under his glass. A hand-drawn star. Callie tucked it in her pocket, her heart warm, like she'd rediscovered a painting from her youth. She didn't know much about the boy's life, but she knew hunger, not just for food, but for something deeper. That evening, at their small house, Callie sat with her father in the garden, where he pruned plants under the porch light. Colonel Dawson, 70, silver-haired but still ramrod straight, read his war books, his eyes kinder than in his drill sergeant days. Callie told him about Eli, laughing. "I swear, Dad, our kitchen keeps screwing up. It's rough." He looked at her, smiling. "You're like your mom. Never let anyone go hungry. I once shared half my rations with a kid in the war. He's why I made it a few more days." Callie went quiet, hugging him gently. "Tell it again, Dad. I'm not tired of it." He patted her head, like when she was little. Back in her room, Callie eyed an old sketch, a field under rain, she'd drawn before her mom passed. She whispered, "Mom, I haven't quit drawing, just paused." She didn't know that. Across Woodland, Eli was hugging his book, thinking of the messy-haired waitress, writing a letter to his father far away. Outside, golden leaves fell, and Sunny Side Up glowed, waiting for a bigger story to unfold. Autumn in Woodland, Colorado felt softer, with golden leaves falling like tiny scraps of paper, carpeting the road to Sunny Side Up. Callie Dawson, 34, started her day behind the counter, green apron sticky with syrup, brown hair tied in a messy bun. She loved the job, not for the tips, but for the smiles of regulars, from Joe with his black coffee to Martha with her grandkids' stories. She sang off-key to Autumn Leaves while wiping tables, muttering, "Sing bad, but the diner's still standing. What a miracle." Yet every morning her eyes drifted to the corner, where Eli Thompson sat, clutching a military book, quiet as an untold secret. Eli, 10, showed up like clockwork, his jacket frayed at the shoulders, Operation Desert Storm heavy in his hands. He never ordered, just asked for water, but Callie saw his hunger, his glance at a customer's pancakes, then the quick look away. After that first accidental plate of pancakes, Callie made it a habit. Each morning she brought a plate, milk, or homemade cookies, always with a quip. "Kitchen messed up again, kid. Save me or I'll have to eat it all." Eli started nodding more, his brown eyes less guarded, and once he slipped a note under his glass. "Really good." Callie tucked it in her pocket, grinning. "All right, kid, you win at handwritten notes." Their bond was silent but steady, like the leaves falling outside. Callie didn't ask about Eli's family or push him to talk. She just left food, sometimes adding a star-shaped cookie, joking, "Kid, this is superhero food. Eat it and you're unstoppable." Eli began to smile, first just a twitch, then one day when Callie spilled syrup on her apron and yelped, "God, I'm a walking disaster." He laughed, a clear wind chime sound. She faked a scowl. "What's so funny, kid? Next time, order for real so I don't have to fake these mix-ups." Eli nodded, meeting her eyes for the first time, like she was the only one he trusted. But Callie's kindness wasn't free. The manager, Janet, noticed, warning, "Callie, you can't keep giving food away. I'll dock your pay." Callie shrugged. "Dock it, Janet. Pancakes are cheaper than dentists." She hid her nagging toothache, skipping doctor visits to buy milk for Eli. Once she snuck cookies from home, wrapped in old foil, telling him, "Top secret, kid. I stole these from my kitchen." He smiled, leaving a tiny drawing, a messy-haired waitress with a pancake plate. Callie hung it in her room, next to an old sketch, whispering, "Mom, I'm doing right, aren't I?" That night she sat with her father, Colonel John Dawson, in their backyard, the porch light glowing on his face, silver hair but eyes still sharp. He pruned plants, listening to her talk about Eli, smiling faintly. "You're like your mom, Callie. Nobody goes hungry, body or soul. I shared half my rations with a kid in the war once. He looked at me the way you look at Eli, like I was his whole world." Callie hugged him, voice thick. "Tell it again, Dad. I love your sappy side." He ruffled her hair. "Sappy or not, you're why I came home from the war." Callie returned to the diner, heart warmer. She didn't know Eli's life, but she felt he needed her, like she'd needed her mom, her dad. One morning, Eli came late, jacket damp from rain, and whispered, "Callie, thanks." She played busy, hiding wet eyes. "Thanks for what, kid? The kitchen's screwing me over." She turned, wiping the counter, missing Eli sketching another star in his book, like she was the light in his days of water and worn pages. Outside, autumn wind swept through Woodland, carrying golden leaves and the scent of pancakes from Sunny Side Up. Callie kept working, unaware that her extra plates were weaving a bigger story, one that would soon touch the heart of a man who'd fought through storms fiercer than Colorado rain. Autumn in Woodland, Colorado, felt deeper, golden leaves piling up in the town square, like scraps of paper holding the town's gentle days. Sunny Side Up glowed each morning, the scent of pancakes and coffee mingling, but Callie Dawson, 34, carried a small ache in her heart. It had been 2 weeks since Eli Thompson, the 10-year-old with his military book, stopped coming. Callie still set a plate of pancakes at his corner table every morning, a habit she couldn't break. Wiping the counter, she sang off-key to Falling Leaves, muttering, "If you don't eat these, kid, I'll go broke on pancakes, Eli." But her smile faded as she glanced at the empty table. Callie had grown used to Eli, his quiet nods, sneaky star drawings, or the way he laughed when she spilled syrup on her apron. She didn't know much about him, only that he needed her, like she'd needed her mom as a kid. Now his absence gnawed at her. She asked Joe, a regular, "Seen that kid Eli anywhere? The one with the dictionary-sized book?" Joe shook his head. "Probably moved on. Small town. Everyone knows everyone." Callie nodded, but her heart sank. She still snuck pancakes to the corner, whispering, "Come back, kid. I've got a mountain of extras." One morning, as Callie set down the plate, a stranger snapped a photo of the empty table, posting it online with a snarky caption, "Waitress faking it with uneaten pancakes. Chasing clout?" The post spread fast and whispers started in town. One woman murmured to a friend, "Wasting food like that? Bet she wants to be in the paper." Callie overheard, pretending to stay busy, but her mind churned. She stared at Eli's star drawing in her pocket, wondering, "Did I do something wrong? It's just pancakes." That night she sat with her father, Colonel John Dawson, in their garden, the porch light glowing on his face. She told him about the post, voice low. "Dad, I just wanted the kid to eat. Why do they think I'm faking?" He took her hand. "Callie, kindness is like a battlefield. Not everyone sees it, but it saves people. Don't stop because of gossip." She hugged him, but doubt clung to her. The next morning, as Callie prepared to clear the untouched pancakes, a military SUV rolled up outside, sunny side up, tires crunching over fallen leaves. The door opened, and a man stepped out. Nate Thompson, 47, a combat officer, rugged in his uniform, face weathered but eyes warm. Callie, wiping a table, froze as he approached the counter, voice deep. "Callie Dawson?" She blinked, nearly dropping her rag. "Yeah, that's me. You ordering or looking for someone?" Nate smiled faintly, pulling a crumpled letter from his pocket. "I'm Nate Thompson, Eli's dad. He wrote this for me." Callie's hands trembled as she took the letter, unfolding it. Childish scrawl spilled across the page. "Dad, I'm okay. Don't worry." Callie at the diner, with messy hair and flour on her face, feeds me every morning. She doesn't know I'm alone while you're on duty, but her pancakes are the best. I want you to meet her." Callie's eyes stung, tears rolling down her cheeks. She looked at Nate, voice breaking. "Eli was alone. I didn't know. I just thought he was hungry." Nate nodded, his eyes bright with gratitude. "You didn't just feed my boy, Callie. You gave him a reason to wait for me. I just got back from a classified mission. No contact. Eli wrote about you every day." Callie wiped her tears, forcing a grin. "God, he called me messy-haired? I thought I was cooler than that." Nate laughed, easing the air. "He said you're a superhero in an apron." Callie shook her head, voice shaky. "I'm no hero, Nate. I just didn't want him hungry, body or soul." She glanced out the window, leaves falling, picturing Eli with his book. Nate rested a hand on the counter, voice low. "You're why Eli smiled, Callie. I owe you more than thanks." Her heart raced, not just from the letter, but from Nate's gaze. Like he saw her, truly saw her, beyond the witty waitress or the girl with tangled hair. She didn't know that, days later, an old photo in her house would unravel a bigger story, tying her father's battlefield past to the man before her. Sunny side up glowed, pancakes stayed warm, and Woodland, in the heart of autumn, became the starting point for a quiet miracle. Autumn in Woodland, Colorado was a vivid painting, golden leaves blanketing the town square, the breeze carrying the scent of cookies from farmers' market stalls. Sunny side up remained where Callie Dawson started her days, but since Nate Thompson arrived with Eli's letter, she felt the diner glowed brighter, as if autumn had snuck in extra sunlight. Callie, 34, still tied her messy hair back, her green apron sticky with syrup, humming off-key to October Road while pouring coffee. She teased Joe, a regular. "Today's pancakes are killer, Joe. Eat 2 stacks. It's on me." He roared, "You comp 'em. I'll call the whole town." But inwardly, Callie thought of Eli, the boy now back, sitting in the corner, reading with a faint smile. After that morning when Nate thanked her, he promised to bring Eli for a proper visit. One Saturday afternoon, As golden leaves covered Callie's yard, Nate's SUV pulled up outside her and Colonel Dawson's small house. Eli hopped out, clutching his book, racing to Callie. "Callie, I brought a new one." She ruffled his hair, joking. "Kid, that book's heavier than you. Watch out or you'll tip over." Nate stepped out, uniform swapped for a simple shirt, but his walk still screamed officer. He smiled. "Thanks again, Callie. Eli won't shut up about your pancakes." Callie led them inside, a bit shy about the creaky wood floors and the faint smell of burnt cookies from the kitchen. "Don't expect a feast, just tea and slightly charred cookies," she said, laughing nervously. But as Nate entered the living room, he froze, eyes locked on a photo by the table. Young Colonel John Dawson in uniform, standing with his squad in Kandahar. "Colonel Dawson," Nate whispered, voice thick. Callie blinked. "How do you know my dad?" Before Nate could answer, Dawson walked in from the garden, old sweater faded, pruning shears in hand. The two men stared, time seeming to pause. Nate snapped to attention, saluting. "Sir, Sergeant Nate Thompson, reporting." Dawson laughed, clapping his shoulder. "At ease, Nate. You're grayer than I expected." Callie gaped, while Eli giggled. "Dad's acting like a movie, Callie." Nate's voice dropped, steady. "The Colonel saved me in Kandahar 15 years ago. Ambush, I was pinned. He dragged me out, wounded himself. I never forgot." Dawson shrugged, grinning. "Just doing my job, kid. You lived, and that's enough." Callie stood there, eyes stinging, seeing her dad, the man who rarely spoke of war, as an unexpected bridge. The military formality melted as Callie brought tea, spilling some, and yelping, "God, I'm a wreck in a Waitress hat." Nate chuckled, helping her wipe it up, their hands brushing for a second, making her blush. "Officer mopping tables," she teased. Nate winked. "Learned in the field. Cleaning rifles is tougher." Eli piped up, "Callie, Dad's stories suck, you tell one." The four sat in the garden, Callie sharing quirky diner tales, like Martha demanding sugar-free pancakes but drowning them in syrup. Nate listened, eyes alight, as if Callie was the best story he'd ever heard. In the days that followed, Nate visited the diner often, not just for Eli, but for Callie. He bandaged her hand after a burn from a hot pan, clumsy but careful. "I'm better with bullet wounds, sorry." She laughed. "Keep this up, I'll be a mummy." They took Eli to the park, Nate opening up about his ex-wife, voice bitter. "She couldn't handle military life. I just wanted Eli to have a mom." Callie nodded, sharing her own loss. "My mom died when I was 16. I quit painting. Colors felt too sad." Nate met her eyes. "You should paint again. Eli says you're a pancake artist." Their hands nearly touched, but Eli ran up, yelling, "Push me, Callie!" breaking the moment. That night, Callie sat with her dad, talking about Nate. Dawson grinned. "He used to call me Stone-Faced General. I like him better now." Callie flushed. "Dad, we're just friends." But looking at Eli's drawing, her, him, and Nate under golden leaves, she whispered, "Mom, I'm starting to love autumn." Sunny Side Up kept shining, and woodland, amid falling leaves, was weaving a love story, not just for Callie and Nate, but for hearts that thought they'd never heal. The next autumn in Woodland, Colorado, blazed brighter than ever, golden leaves falling like blessings across the town square. Sunny Side Up remained the BC, but now it pulsed with new life. Callie Dawson, 34, stood behind the counter. Green apron a bit cleaner, hair still messy, smile warm as fresh pancakes. She wasn't just the quick-witted waitress anymore. She'd started a free art class in the diner, where local kids, including Eli Thompson, wielded brushes and laughed loudly. A wooden sign hung on the wall. "No one leaves hungry." Callie glanced at it, whispering, "Mom, I did it, didn't I?" Eli, now 11, was no longer the quiet boy. He sat among the kids, painting tanks with golden stars, shouting, "Callie, am I better than you yet?" She winked. "Kid, I'm the Picasso of pancakes. You've got a ways to go." Nate Thompson, 47, a regular now, traded his uniform for flannel, helping hang the kids' art. He teased, "I've fought whole platoons, But I'm losing to you at hanging pictures straight, Callie laughed. An officer beat by a painter? Shameful. Their chemistry was soft, like leaves falling steadily outside. During the autumn festival, with the farmer's market rich with roasted apple scents and golden lanterns glowing, Nate led Callie and Eli to the diner's corner table. Eli's old spot, now draped in red cloth. Eli, clutching a new painting, handed it to Callie, eyes gleaming. Look! She unrolled it. The three of them eating pancakes under golden trees, captioned "My Family." Callie blinked, tears shimmering, hugging Eli. Kid, you're turning me sappy. Nate, a bit awkward, pulled a small wooden box from his pocket, revealing a ring with a star charm. He knelt, voice low but steady. Callie, I fought to survive, but now I fight to love you. You didn't just feed Eli, you gave us both a home. Marry me, be his mom? Callie froze, then laughed, tears falling. As long as you don't steal Eli's pancakes, Eli yelled, I approve. The diner erupted in cheers, Joe hollering, Get that ring on, Nate. Don't make her wait. Callie slipped it on, pulling Nate up, whispering, Worst proposal ever. But I love you. They kissed, clumsy but real, amid hoots and the faint smell of burnt cookies from the kitchen. In the final scene, the three stood in sunny side up one autumn morning, baking for the art class. Callie showed Eli how to roll dough, while Nate, flour on his face, grumbled, I'm better with rifles than recipes. Callie tossed flour at him, laughing. Pancake billionaire, huh? Eli shouted. I love this family. Colonel Dawson, reading in the corner, chuckled. Not bad for a son-in-law who called me stone-faced general. Callie sang off-key to You Are My Sunshine, eyeing Eli's painting next to her mom's photo, whispering, Mom, I found home. The diner glowed, leaves fell outside, and woodland buzzed with laughter from the art class. Nate hugged Callie, saying, You're our star, mine and Eli's. She winked. And you're my hero in a flower-dusted shirt. The words the beginning appeared, a promise of a healed family, where Callie didn't just make pancakes, she crafted sunny days in the heart of autumn. Callie, Eli, and Nate's journey ends with pancakes, starry promises, and a family found. Did it warm your soul? If this heartfelt tale touched you, please like to cheer on Soul and Love Stories. Subscribe for more cozy, uplifting stories. And a special shout-out. Comment USARMY to honor Colonel John Dawson's legacy and salute our brave American soldiers. What melted your heart most? Callie's golden kindness or Eli's starry dreams? Share below, and we'll see you in the next Soul and Love Stories adventure.